Hello, hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Check, check one, check. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can. Okay. Does it sound? I have my earbuds on. All right. So we're just gonna keep it quick here. This is just a surprise thing here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna read this book together. Um, I'll be checking in a little bit on the chat, but it's just me here up at the family cabin. So I hope you guys are familiar with this. It's a little different than the film version. It has a different ending, not to give anything away, but I like it. It's from the same author of Charlotte's Web, if you're familiar with that animated film or book. Haven't read that one, but this will be a pretty short read, I think. It looks like it was part of a third grade class's um, reading list. So I'm reading at a third grade level here with no problem. So let's start out. Let's look at this here. The cover we got looks like Stuart's in a boat here. His canoe is called Summer Memories. You can see the size of him. He's next to stalks of grass, which looks giant. All right, so first chapter. Ooh, nice little art in the inlay there. Cat and a mouse. All right, the chapter one. In the drain. There we see Stuart. Look at him looking so dapper with his hat, his cane. He is indeed a mouse with shoes and a suit coat on. Chapter one, in the drain. I'll show you the pictures. When Miss Frederick C. Little's second son arrived, everyone noticed that he was not much bigger than a mouse. He was not. The truth of the matter was, the baby looked very much like a mouse in every way. He was only about 2 inches high, and he had a mouse's sharp nose, a mouse's tail, a mouse's whiskers, and the pleasant, shy manner of a mouse. Before he was many days old, he was not only looking like a mouse, but acting like one too. Oh, he was not only looking like a mouse, but acting like one too, wearing a gray hat and carrying a small cane. That's interesting because that doesn't seem like something a mouse would do. So I don't know what they meant by that. Um, Mr. and Mrs. Little named him Stuart, and Mr. Little made him a tiny bed out of 4 clothespins and a cigarette box. I love that. Look at that picture here. He's got a little cigarette box chair. All right. Unlike most babies, Stuart could walk as soon as he was born. When he was a week old, he could climb lamps by shinnying up the cord. Miss Little saw right away that infant clothes she provided were unsuitable, and She set to work and made him a fine little blue worsted suit with patch pockets in which he could keep his handkerchief, his money, and his keys. What kind of money does this mouse have? It's got to be tiny. Every morning before Stuart dressed, Miss Little went into his room and weighed him on a small scale, which was really meant for weighing letters. At birth, Stuart could have been sent by first-class mail for 3 cents, but his parents preferred to keep him rather than to send him away. And when at the age of a month, he had gained only a third of an ounce, his mother was so worried she sent for a doctor. Let me just pause right here and say that in the movie version of Stuart, I believe he's adopted. And there was like a whole meme about how like I hate this movie. Why did they like adopt a mouse when they were like human children not getting adopted? So the doctor was delighted with Stuart and said that it was very unusual for an American family to have a mouse. He took Stuart's temperature and found it was exactly 98.6, which is normal for a mouse. He also examined Stuart's chest and heart and looked into his ears solemnly with a flashlight. Not every doctor can look into a mouse's ear without laughing. Everything seemed to be all right, and Miss Little was pleased to get such a good report. Feed him up, said the doctor cheerfully, and he left. Here's the doctor examining Stuart. It's a healthy American mouse. Um, the home of the Little family was a pleasant place near a park in New York City. In the mornings, the sun streamed in through the east windows, and all the Littles were up early as a general rule. Stuart was a great help to his parents and to his older brother George because of his small size and because he could do things that a mouse can do and was agreeable about doing them. One day, when Miss Little was washing out of the bathtub and Mr. Little had taken a bath, she lost a ring off of her finger and was horrified to discover that it had fallen down the drain. What had I better do? She cried, trying to keep the tears back. If I were you, said George, I should bend a hairpin in the shape of a fish hook, and tie it onto a piece of string and try to fish out the ring with it. So Miss Little found a piece of string and a hairpin, and for about a half hour she fished for the ring. But it was dark down the drain, and the hook always seemed to catch on something before she could get it down to where the ring was. What luck? What luck? Inquired Mr. Little, coming into the bathroom. No luck at all, said Miss Little. The ring is so far down I can't fish it up. Why don't we send Stuart down after it? Suggested Mr. Little. How about it, Stuart? Would you like to try? Yes, I would, Stuart replied. But I think I'd better get into my old pants. I imagine it's very wet down there. It's all of that, said George, who was a trifle annoyed that his hook idea hadn't worked. So Stuart slipped into his old pants and prepared to go down the drain after the ring. He decided to carry the string along with him, leaving one end in charge of his father. When I jerked the 3 times on the string, pull me up, he said. And while Mr. Little knelt in the tub, Stuart slid easily down the drain and was lost to view. In a minute or so, there came 3 quick jerks on the string, and Mr. Little carefully hauled it up. There, at the end, was Stuart, with the ring safely around his neck. So, here's a picture. I like this scene of him kind of spelunking, exploring the cave, which was basically just a drain. Oh, my brave little son, said Miss Little proudly, as she kissed Stuart and thanked him. How is it down there? Asked Mr. Little, who was always curious to know places he had never been to. It was all right, said Stuart, but the truth was the drain had made him very slimy, and it was necessary for him to take a bath and sprinkle himself with a bit of his mother's violet water before he felt himself again. Everybody in the family thought he had been awfully good about the whole thing. Here's him getting sprinkled with water. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. That was chapter 1. Tomorrow we will be reading Home Problems, chapter 2. And I'll probably do it in the morning. So if you guys are on your laptops or phones or computers, just whatever it is, just tune in. I guess some people showed up. They must have notified you. So be expecting a morning-ish start time tomorrow. And I'm in Central Time. So Central Time. I think I'm going to try like in the morning. I won't be announcing it. Okay. But hopefully this goes onto the internet so you can listen to this at your heart's content. Thanks, y'all. We love y'all. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the first chapter of Stuart Little. Bye-bye.